and welcome to Silverstone. We are live, coming to you from the garage where the unveiling of the F1 W09 happened a little earlier on. I'm joined by Toto Wolff. Thank you for joining us. Toto, great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a busy day already. We're here in front of the show car. There's been lots going on. A lot of you have been watching and you've been sending in your questions. So Toto, are you ready to answer the fans' questions?
Yeah, I'm mentally focused.
Mentally focused and ready to go. Okay, so the first question on Facebook is from Leopoldo Balla, and he says, "Hi Toto, how do you manage a team that's been the winner for 4 years in a row?"
Well, it's easier to manage a team that has been winning 4 times in a row than somebody who is trying to come back and being an underdog. There is different challenges. You need to set the right objectives. You need to be motivated and energized, and because we have been pretty much setting the boundaries, it is maybe a little bit more difficult to stretch ourselves than a team that is looking up to you.
It is a tricky one. No complacency. That's what you often say, isn't it?
Yeah, complacency is a mindset. If you take it easy and you're not really motivated anymore by winning, that anyway you're in the wrong business.
Thank you very much for your question. We'll move now to a question from Twitter. Risha Adams has been in touch, and it's about the halo. As you can see, it's behind us on the show car, saying you were quoted as saying you wish you could saw the halo off with a chainsaw. Is that the end of it then? No amount of petitioning from fans or teams that can get this eyesore removed?
No, I think it is pretty much where we are today, unfortunately. What is clear is we need a head protection for the drivers. There is no way back. We've seen terrible accidents with things flying onto drivers' heads. I just think that the aesthetics of the halo are very wrong for Formula One, and we need to look at that. And together with the FIA and the commercial rights holder, try to come up with a solution that is aesthetically right and that protects the drivers from objects flying around.
So is that you going to be requesting meetings with the FIA, or will they bring you in when they're discussing the future of the halo?
All of us have the best interest of Formula One at heart, and I think it's pretty clear when you look at that thing that it's not perfect. Maybe we are all getting used to it, and in a while we're not talking about it anymore.
That's what Lewis said earlier, didn't he? He said, soon we'll be looking back and saying, oh, it's all part of the car.
It was stated, yeah. So let's see how it goes. As I said before, most important is to protect the drivers.
Thank you for your question. Martin Bashford's been in touch on Facebook. Will the W09 be a diva like the W08, or will this year be easier?
Well, if I can choose between a diva and a boring lady, I'd rather go for the diva. She was pretty quick, the quickest car last year, most pole position and race wins, but very difficult to handle at times. And we are trying to keep the character traits of the diva, not slowing her down, but equally smoothing up the edges.
How difficult has that been then to maintain the best bits of last year's car and make sure that those tricky bits don't appear again?
That is difficult because you don't want to lose the fundamental DNA of the car. You just need to understand why on some circuits the car didn't behave like you wanted.
Thank you so much. These questions are coming in thick and fast. That's why I'm looking down at the iPad. I am listening intently as well. Matthew Plum has been in touch on Facebook saying, what was the funniest moment of the 2017 F1 season for you? Probably many, were there?
Yeah, I'm really bad in remembering stuff that was in the past. I'm so in today and what happens tomorrow.
Looking in the future.
What was funny last year?
Well, I think a lot of the moments that fans will remember with you was you banging your fist on the middle of the engineering table. Is that going to be happening again, or are you going to maintain a sense of calm in the...
Well, that was funny for the others, but when I saw the video, I thought it looked pretty stupid. But I'm emotional, and it just came out, and saw some of the memes that were done afterwards. It wasn't my best moment, I would say.
You are a natural. And actually, this brings me on to a good question on Facebook from Erin Joy, saying, Toto, you were a racer before you moved into business and then management. Does that experience help you as a team principal? Because you know how it feels to be a racer. And I suppose that kind of touches a little bit on that whole emotional side, doesn't it?
It helps and it doesn't. It helps because I think I understand the concept of what happens in a racing car and what the organization needs to look like in order to perform. On the other side, I have never experienced any of the sensation a Formula One driver has. I've never driven a Formula One car. I didn't have the ability of driving a Formula One car. And insofar, you need to be very conscious that you don't want to get too involved, because one thing is for sure, that I don't know a lot about driving this car.
So you stick to what you're good at, let them stick to what they're good at, but you can work together.
That's a pretty good summary.
Yol Arangaran's been in touch on Facebook as well, saying, would you sign Niki Lauda as your driver if you were a team boss in the 70s?
Absolutely. I mean, he was outstanding in his day.
You'd be mad not to, wouldn't you, really?
You'd be mad, yeah. And he's very driven, very ambitious person, straightforward, straight talker. You always know what goes through his mind. There is no filter between what comes to the mind and what comes out of the mouth, which is really good. Yeah, I would have been very keen in signing him up in the 70s.
Well, he is a character. Can't wait to see more of Niki Lauda this year. Liz Insion on Facebook has questioned it. Will the W09 be better at following cars than the W08? Should Lewis or Valtteri get stuck in traffic this season? I know neither of them will want to be behind anyone, but if they do, will it be better at following?
It is clear that our car, that generally for modern Formula One cars with these regulations, are pretty difficult in traffic, because we create such a wake that there is no, there is little downforce if you're following another car, because the car in front just makes a big hole in the air. Our car was very strong on the front end, very strong on the front wing, and this is why we suffered maybe a little bit more than the others. We tried to consider that and smoothen that deficit out.
Good question. Thank you very much. Gemma on Twitter has asked how you're feeling about the Red Bull this year, Toto, because, of course, last year you thought they might be contenders, and then obviously Ferrari was so strong. So what are your thoughts on Red Bull for 2018? It's
very difficult to judge, and clearly they have been competitive at times towards the end of the season. Not so much in the last race, but I think there was some innovation on the car the races before. They tried to experiment with a couple of things that clearly worked, and they will be pulling it all together and for sure having a competitive car this season. They have great drivers, a great organization. There's many very good people in there that will be very ambitious to strike back insofar they are serious competitor.
If they're strong in Australia, then, is that going to worry you somewhat? Maybe shake you up a bit?
I'm in a permanent state of worry about everybody. I think we could see McLaren and Renault performing well, or some of the other teams as well.
Yes, it's going to be very, very interesting. Dev on YouTube, thank you for your messages on YouTube, everybody. Toto, I liked the shark fin. Interesting. Why did it have to disappear from the cars for 2018?
Well, you're the only one that liked the shark fin.
A lot of people were against it, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly. I like the cars much more when there is no fin at all, but it has become a little bit of a battleground among the teams and in the strategy group. There are some teams which like the shark fin because it helps to stabilize the car in crosswind situation, for example. And there's other teams which don't think that it's very important. We are pretty much easy. As long as everybody has the same regulations, whether we have a shark fin or not, we don't care.
Sorry about that. Okay, so going back to what we were talking earlier with your emotions, Gemma Worthington on YouTube says, are we going to see a happy Toto in 2018 or an angry Toto?
My wife, Susie, always says I should be more happy than I am and have not a general mood of anger. You need both. I'm somebody that is always so skeptical about our own level of performance, which doesn't make my days better. But equally, I enjoy very much if we have a good day and if we are competitive. So it will be both.
You take the time to celebrate them, because what you and the team are achieving is phenomenal. So you're taking moments to sort of step back and say, God, look what we're doing.
Absolutely. I think if you just move on to the next one, it's very difficult to understand and cherish the moment. Equally, losing and the related pain to it lasts much longer. It is days of feeling unwell. And the happiness...
Well, Toto, it's so sad to hear you talk like that.
My life has gone down the drain. No, the moment of happiness is a very short time frame, actually. You enjoy the Sunday night when it has gone well, and on the flight back home, you have the moment where you think that was a good day, but then Monday morning debrief starts and everybody's looking ahead into the next race and you've forgotten about it.
Never stops, never stops. JP on YouTube, thank you for your question. Does Valtteri have a really good shot at challenging Lewis this season? He looks keener than ever, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks pretty motivated. I think that he learned his lessons. He looked at the data, studied it over the winter. He will know that he needs to understand the tires much better than last year. And we mustn't forget, it was his first year in a Mercedes against the best driver of modern Formula One. Insofar, I expect him to step up a lot.
Have you had chats to him over the winter break to talk about that consistency and how to manage that for 2018?
Yes, we had chats, but you know, Finns don't talk a lot. So what you get is like a
He'll take it all in though, I'm sure, and he's just processing it and ready to wow you.
Yeah, they don't talk a lot.
But they work hard, that I tell you. Lucas on Twitter, this is a great question. What's more important to you, winning the Constructors or the Drivers' title?
Well, we have thought about that a lot. And previously it was the Constructor title because we are Mercedes-Benz and we are entering Formula One as a constructor. But then the driver's title is the one that is much more visible to the outside world. You will easier remember who won the driver title than the constructor title. So my answer is both matter for us.
How do you manage that with the driver's ambition? Because obviously they both want to win it for themselves, for the drivers, but also for the team. And how do you make sure that everyone's sort of pulling in the right direction?
I think we just start into the season and storm off and try to score every point that is obtainable. And then after the summer break, we see where we are. And we did it last year. We did the same last year, and it came out okay.
We've got a little question about the young drivers on the team. So Andrew Unwin on YouTube says, can George Russell be a long-term replacement for Lewis Hamilton? And you must be looking to the future to think about replacing Lewis when the time comes.
Yeah, I mean, Lewis has many more years left into his racing career where he will be competitive. I expect him to go another 5, 6, 7 years if he enjoys doing it. But George is clearly the next generation. Some serious competitors that are also eager to enter Formula One, and we shall be watching and supporting him.
F2 is such a rich ground of talent, isn't it? It's really, really going to be impressive to watch this year.
Yeah, very impressive. There are some good kids in F2 that had a little bit of an experience. Nicola Latifi comes to my mind, and then there is upcoming young stars like George. So we'll see how that goes.
If we look inside the paddock, and of course Esteban Ocon is very important to you. Craig Burlow on Facebook has asked, will Esteban Ocon get the chance to drive for Mercedes in the future?
He's one of our juniors, the one that is most advanced. Had his first full season with Force India last year. Battled it out against Sergio Perez. Sometimes I watched it with curiosity, what was happening on track.
Sometimes like this.
Well, it isn't our team, so it was really with curiosity and astonishment. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I was astonished, yeah.
And insofar, it's gonna be interesting to see how they perform against each other, and interesting to see how that rivalry pans out on track.
Esteban's got an amazing confidence, doesn't he? When he's in the paddock, he seems very at one with himself, bounding around, full of energy. Do you think he's targeting a seat at Mercedes?
He has even more confidence in the car. His racecraft is exceptional. He's a lion in the car, but a very sociable person outside and a nice person. This is the character traits a modern Formula One driver needs to have. For sure, the only thing in his mind is to get himself into the Mercedes.
Absolutely. Nevin Milev on Facebook has asked, it must be great winning, ? I guess so. But do you secretly relish the competition of other teams? We want to see wheel-to-wheel action out on the track, don't we?
Yeah, the same for us. We are all in motor racing because we like the competition and we like to fight hard. We almost embrace the difficult days because they make us enjoy the good ones even more. They push the boundaries, they make us perform better, and they are a necessary part of racing. Equally, where we are, we're just trying to optimize the organization and the car all the time to be a better us and have a better product and a better delivery, and we just hope to have the fight on track.
It's funny, isn't it? Because when you hear the drivers saying they want wheel-to-wheel action, you think you can't be serious. Of course, you want to just win it by miles, by seconds, by minutes. But it's not true, is it?
No, it's not true. We are racers at heart. We want the tough fight out there. And if you run away with the championship, you win every race. Formula One is going to suffer the motivation in the team is going to suffer. It's not good for our brand because the fans and all of us want to see the underdog perform well and not always the same guys. So I'm a little bit in two minds. On one side, I hope we do really well and we win, but on the other side, Formula One is important.
Absolutely. Well, we'll move on to our last question now. This comes from Sundar on Twitter. And today's hashtag has been driven by each other. So what's the story behind the hashtag the team are using?
Driven by each other means that this is not about one individual. It's not about the drivers, myself, James, Andy, or Aldo. It is, we are a group of people that are on a journey together, and we couldn't perform without each other. We all need each other. There are some that are more visible outside, but there is so many hidden champions that play such a fundamental part in the team's performance, and this is why it's about all of us and all of our work that has gone into the race cars.
Well, it's going to be fascinating to see how all of you perform this year. Toto, thank you so much for taking time out from a very busy launch day. It's been great chatting to you. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been great chatting to you and great chatting to you guys.
Well, stick around because a little bit later on we'll be talking to Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas and we'll be live here from Silverstone. Thank you so much. Goodbye.